Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Paddy Moore, a maths teacher. His specialist subject is the films of Billy Wilder. Davina Kesby-Beck, a content solutions director. Her subject is the singer Neil Diamond. And Janaya Barput, a doctor. He'll be answering questions on the Apollo space program. And Richard Carr, a sales consultant. His subject is the 1944 Battle of Normandy. Spare a thought for our brave contenders tonight. Like gladiators about to enter the arena, their discomfort is for your entertainment. But as they endure 2 minutes of rapid-fire questions on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, you at home will also learn a thing or two from some of the best minds in quizzing. That's the beauty of Mastermind, devised to inform and educate as well as entertain. A place in the semi-finals is up for grabs, so can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Paddy Moore.
Your occupation?
Maths teacher.
And your specialist subject?
The films of Billy Wilder.
Yes, the films of the prolific director whose Hollywood career spanned 6 decades. In 2 minutes, here we go. In The 7-Year Itch, the publishing editor, Richard Sherman, imagines seducing his glamorous neighbour by playing a piano concerto by which composer?
Rachmaninoff.
Yes, in The Apartment, the lowly accounts clerk, C.C. Baxter, is offered 2 free tickets for what Broadway show by his boss in exchange for the key to his flat?
The Music Man.
Yes, in Sunset Boulevard, when Norma Desmond shows one of her old silent films to her companion, Joe Gillis, she tells him proudly that in those days, we didn't need dialogue, we had what?
Faces.
Yes, in the 1944 film noir, Double Indemnity, the insurance salesman Walter Neff secretly meets his lover's stepdaughter, Lola, in the hills above which Los Angeles landmark?
The Hollywood sign.
No, the Hollywood Bowl. What's the name of the lapdog belonging to Shirley MacLaine's title character in the 1963 comedy Irma la Douce?
Coquette.
Yes, in Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe's character tells the saxophonist Joe, disguised as Josephine, that she's looking for a man with a yacht, his own private railroad car, and his own what?
Pass.
In Witness for the Prosecution, Sir Wilfred Robarts suggests that the accused murderer, Leonard Vole, had turned up the volume of which operetta to drown out the screams of the wealthy widow, Mrs. French?
Lohengrin.
No, the Mikado. In The Fortune Cookie, the cameraman, Harry Hinkle, says of his ex-wife, Sandy, that she'd only ever read what single book in her life?
Pass.
In The Front Page, Walter Burns orders the journalist Roy Bensinger to write him a prayer for Chicago in a biblical style somewhere between the Sermon on the Mount and what number psalm?
14th.
No, 23rd. In Stalag 17, the Red Cross delivers a consignment of goods to a German prisoner of war camp containing coffee, sugar, prunes, toothbrushes, and 2,000 of what items?
Ping pong balls.
Yes, in The Lost Weekend, what's the first name of the nurse who treats the writer, Don Burnham, warning him that if he keeps drinking, he'll start seeing little animals like tiny turkeys in straw hats?
Bim.
It was Bim. Paddy, you had the 2 passes. In The Fortune Cookie, the cameraman Harry Hinkle says his ex-wife Sandy that she'd only ever read The Carpetbaggers. And in Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe's character says she wants a man with a yacht, his own private railroad car, and his own toothpaste. At the end of that round, Paddy, you've got 6 points. And our next contender, please. Your name?
Davina Kesby-Beck.
Your occupation?
Content Solutions Director.
And your specialist subject?
Neil Diamond.
The hugely successful singer, songwriter and actor, born in New York City in 1941. In 2 minutes, here we go. In 1954, Neil Diamond enrolled as a pupil at which school in Brooklyn, where a fellow student was the future actress and singer Barbra Streisand?
Erasmus Hall.
Yes, although its title seemingly refers to a woman, which one of Diamond's hits, has he stated, is actually inspired by a folk story about a cheap wine popular with Native Americans in Canada?
Cracklin' Rosie?
Yes. During his teenage years, Diamond discovered a passion for which sport, winning a scholarship for his skills to New York University?
Fencing.
Yes, what was the name of the publishing company that gave Diamond his first job as a songwriter, working in a small cubicle in the Tin Pan Alley district?
Sunbeam.
Yes, in 1963, Diamond secured a deal with Columbia Records, who released a single with Clown Town on one side and What Track on the other.
I'll Be Waiting.
No, At Night. Which French musician co-wrote the song Love on the Rocks, which featured in Diamond's 1980 film remake of The Jazz Singer?
Gilbert Bacode.
Yes. In a newspaper interview in 1992, Diamond reflected that the title of which of his hit songs was inspired by his young daughter, Marjorie, when she commented on the sound of the musical parade she was watching from a hotel window.
Beautiful Noise.
Yes, one of Diamond's best-known songs, Sweet Caroline, was written and recorded while he was in Memphis, working in which recording studio?
Roosevelt.
No, American Sound. In the summer of 1967, which song written by Diamond was a UK hit single for Cliff Richard, with a second Diamond song, I Get the Feeling, on the B-side?
I'll Come Running.
Yes. In which American television detective series did Diamond appear as a club singer in a 1967 episode entitled The Many Deaths of St. Christopher?
Mannix.
Yes. Which song, co-written with the musician Robbie Robertson, did Diamond perform as part of the Last Waltz concert by Robertson's group, The Band, staged in San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom in November 1976?
Dry Your Eyes.
Yes. In the early 1970s, I've started, so I'll finish. In the early 1970s, Diamond won both a Golden Globe and a Grammy Award for writing the original score for what film directed by Hall Bartlett?
Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
It was Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Davina, at the end of that round, you had no passes. You've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Anjanea Bapat,
your occupation,
Doctor,
and your specialist subject.
the Apollo space program.
The American space program of the 1960s and 70s that successfully landed men on the moon. In 2 minutes, let's go. One of the main components of the Apollo spacecraft was known by the initials CSM, the letters C and S standing for Command and Service, with the letter M standing for what word?
Module.
Yes, the words ex luna scientia, meaning from the moon knowledge, form the motto of which number Apollo mission which didn't actually land on the moon?
13.
Yes, which astronaut was the only person to have flown as part of both the earlier Mercury and Gemini programs, as well as going into space as an Apollo crew member?
Alan Shepard.
No, Wally Schirra. On Christmas Eve 1968, the crew of Apollo 8 conducted a live television broadcast from lunar orbit that included readings from which book of the Bible?
Genesis.
Yes, what was the only manned Apollo mission to be launched at nighttime, taking off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida at just after 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Apollo 17.
Yes, although commonly known as Buzz Aldrin, the second man to set foot on the moon originally had what two first names?
Eugene Edwin.
Yes, Edwin Eugene. During the Apollo 14 mission, the backup crew played pranks on the astronauts by hiding spoof mission patches in their equipment, featuring images of what cartoon bird?
Roadrunner.
Yes, which crew member on the Apollo 14 mission was known to have an interest in psychic phenomena and secretly conducted experiments on extrasensory perception during the voyage?
Edgar Mitchell.
Yes, what was the name of the recovery ship that met the crews of Apollos 11 and 12 after splashdown in the Pacific Ocean?
USS Iwo Jima.
No, it was Hornet. In 1967, a launch pad fire claimed the lives of all 3 crew members of Apollo 1, including that of which astronaut who, 2 years earlier, had become the first American to walk in space?
Gus Grissom.
No, Ed White. Throughout the Mercury, Gemini, and early Apollo missions, which American magazine was given exclusive access to the personal stories of the NASA astronauts and their families?
Life.
Yes, the area of the moon. I've started, so I'll finish. The area of the moon where Apollo 16's lunar module landed in 1972 is named after which philosopher and scientist?
Descartes.
It is René Descartes. Anjanea, you had no passes. You've got 9 points. And our final contender, please. Your name,
Richard Carr,
your occupation,
sales consultant.
and your specialist subject.
The Battle of Normandy.
The Allied landings in Normandy in 1944 and the subsequent campaign to drive German forces out of occupied France. In 2 minutes, here we go. What code name was given to the deception plan, part of Operation Bodyguard, to convince the Germans that the Allied invasion would begin in the Pas-de-Calais region rather than in Normandy?
Fortitude.
Yes, on D-Day, naval convoys of the combined Allied forces converged on a point south of the Isle of Wight in Assembly Area Z, which had been given what nickname after a place in central London?
Piccadilly Circus.
Yes, the code phrase ham and jam was used early on D-Day to signal the success of Allied forces sent to capture key bridges over the Caen Canal and which other waterway?
The Orne River.
Yes, U.S. Army Rangers 2nd Ranger Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel James Rudder, was tasked on D-Day with destroying a gun battery on which headland?
On the Pont de Hoc.
Yes. Which German officer was the last commander of Nazi-occupied Paris and surrendered the city on the 25th of August, 1944, disobeying Hitler's order that he was to destroy the French capital?
Von Coltitz.
Yes. Operation Windsor began on the 4th of July as a preliminary attack by the Canadian 8th Infantry Brigade on which village and airfield west of Caen?
Carpiquet.
Yes. What was the name of the senior officer who commanded the British Second Army and who devised Operation Goodwood to complete the capture of Caen in July 1944?
Miles Dempsey.
Yes, on D-Day, the 3rd Canadian Division was tasked with storming which of the 5 assault beaches in Normandy?
Juno.
Yes, what was the name of the officer who led the French 2nd Armoured Division into Paris and who received the German surrender on the 25th of August?
Pass.
In early August, the Germans launched a counterattack known as Operation Lüttich and, in the early hours of the 7th of August, very briefly retook which town?
Mortain.
Yes, what was the name of the Allies' chief meteorologist responsible for predicting the weather for D-Day and who was key to General Eisenhower's decision to postpone until the 6th of June?
Group Captain Stagg.
Yes, which key town? I've started, so I'll finish. Which key town, the main objective of the failed Canadian-led Operation Totalize, was eventually captured on the 16th of August after fierce fighting?
Falaise.
It was Falaise. Richard, you had the one pass, the officer who received the German surrender on the 25th of August. It was Philippe Leclerc. Yeah. Knew it. So, Richard, at the end of that round, you've got 11 points.
Thank you.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 6 points, it's Paddy. In 3rd place with 9 points is Anjanea. In 2nd place with 10 points sits Davina, and in 1st place with 11 points, it's Richard. So now it's general knowledge, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie-break. So let's ask Paddy to join us again, please. Paddy, you start with 6 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. Each item or group of items offered for sale at an auction is known by what 3-letter word, followed by a number?
Lot.
Yes. What relation is King Charles III to Princess Anne, the Princess Royal?
Sister. Brother.
I have to accept your first answer is brother.
Yeah.
The musician Norman Cook, better known as Fatboy Slim, was the bass guitarist in which group who had a UK #1 single in 1986 with Caravan of Love?
The House Martins.
Yes. The tragus is a prominent piece of cartilage on the outside of each of which pair of sensory organs?
The ears.
Yes. Which French composer wrote the 1830 work Symphonie Fantastique?
Ravel.
No, Hector Berlioz. In January 2025, Michal Martin became Prime Minister of which European country for a 2nd time?
Ireland.
Yes, in 2020, the Consumer Affairs television series Watchdog was incorporated into what other programme?
The One Show.
Yes, which motor racing driver, who died in 1959 at the age of just 29, had the previous year become the first British winner of the Formula One World Championship?
Clark.
No, Mike Hawthorne. Which 20th century conflict fought in Southeast Asia is sometimes known as the Second Indochina War?
Vietnam.
Yes. What was the name of the British author and illustrator who died in 2021, the first of whose Worst Witch series of children's books was published in the 1970s?
Pass.
The wrought iron steamship SS Great Britain, which opened as a museum in Bristol in 2005 following extensive restoration, was designed by which prominent 19th century engineer?
Brunel.
Yes, what animal, commonly kept as a pet, has breeds called Harlequin, Flemish Giant and Netherland Dwarf?
Rabbit.
Yes, which city is the second largest in Norway and is known for its nearby fjords and for the differently coloured wooden buildings in its historic harbour?
Tromsø.
No, Bergen. The word numismatist sometimes refers to a collector of banknotes or medals, but most commonly refers to a collector of what objects?
Coins.
Yes, which Scottish satirist co-wrote and directed the television comedy series The Thick of It, as well as the feature films In the Loop and The Death of Stalin?
Iannucci.
Yes, what two-word Latin phrase commonly used in English can be translated as seize the day?
Caveat. That is...
No, I have to accept your first answer. It's carpe diem. The term cybernetic organism, meaning a human with mechanical or computer-derived enhancements, is normally shortened to what six-letter word?
Cyborg.
Yes, in Greek mythology, which of the Olympian deities was the goddess of the rainbow and a key messenger between the immortals and humanity?
Iris.
It is Iris. Paddy, you had the one pass. The British author who wrote the worst which children's books was Jill Murphy. And at the end of that round, Paddy, you've got 18 points.
Thank you.
Next up is Anjanea. Anjanea, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands is 18 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. The portmanteau term brunch for a late morning meal is a blend of breakfast and what other word?
Lunch.
Yes, what common term for a piece of jewellery worn to encircle the wrist is borrowed from French and is ultimately derived from the Greek for of the arm?
Bracelet.
Yes, the television series Holby City, which ran for more than 20 years from 1999, was a spin-off from what other medical drama series?
Pass.
In the nursery rhyme that begins, Monday's child is fair of face, a child born on Tuesday is said to be full of what?
Grace.
Yes, which rock band formed in New York in the mid-1970s comprised David Byrne, Tina Weymouth, Chris Frantz and Jerry Harrison?
T-Rex.
No, Talking Heads. The name of the dog breed Shih Tzu, derived from Mandarin Chinese, is a reference to its supposed resemblance to which big cat?
Tiger.
No, Lion. Which American tennis player won her first Grand Slam title with victory over Aryna Sabalenka in the final of the 2025 Australian Open?
Swiatek.
No, Madison Keys. The composer Hubert Parry and the artist Joshua Reynolds and J.M.W. Turner are buried in which London cathedral?
Westminster.
No, St. Paul's. What was the name of the Lancashire weaver and inventor who, in 1770, obtained a patent for his cotton spinning machine known as the spinning jenny?
Pass.
The Latin term axilla and the dialect word oxter are names for what part of the human body?
Armpit.
Yes, which British dramatist wrote the play Betrayal, first performed in 1978 by a cast that included Penelope Wilton and Michael Gambon?
Ted Hughes.
No, Harold Pinter. What fantasy film series that began in 2012 comprises 3 installments with the subtitles An Unexpected Journey, The Desolation of Smaug and The Battle of the Five Armies?
Hobbit.
Yes, what Afro-Cuban dance, noted for a pronounced movement of the hips, has a 5-letter name derived from a Spanish word for a party or spree?
Salsa.
No, rumba. The flag, used by the European Union as its official emblem, features a circle of how many gold stars on a blue background?
12.
Yes, Cape Agulhas is the southernmost point of which continent?
South America.
No, Africa. The marble sculpture known in English as the Kiss, depicting an Italian noblewoman and her husband's brother, was created by which French artist?
Rodin.
Yes, the title of which opera by Tchaikovsky, first performed in St. Petersburg in 1890, is also the name of a playing card that features in the final scene?
Swan Lake.
No, the Queen of Spades. What name? I've started, so I'll finish. What name, after the German count who designed it, is given to a type of airship that was used by the German Air Force during the First World War?
Zeppelin.
It is Zeppelin. And Janae, you had 2 passes. The name of the Lancashire weaver and inventor of the cotton spinning machine, the spinning jenny, James Hargreaves. And Holby City is a spin-off from Casualty. So at the end of that round, Anjanea, You've got 17 points. Next up, it's Davina. Davina, you start with 10 points. The score to beat, as it stands, is 18 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. The National Three Peaks Challenge involves climbing Ben Nevis in Scotland, Scawfell Pike in England, and which mountain in Wales?
Snowdon.
Yes, in May 2025, the American-born Cardinal Robert Prevost became the 14th Pope to take what papal name?
Leo.
Yes, in December 2024, a forensic accountant named Fiona Wood became the first female series champion since 1998 on what long-running television game show?
Only Connect.
No, Countdown. Which US state with a coastline on the Pacific Ocean is the only one named after one of the country's presidents?
Washington.
Yes, which metallic element with the atomic number 77 and the chemical symbol IR is noted for its high resistance to corrosion and is used mainly to make alloys with platinum?
Iron.
No, iridium. What name is given to the rear part of a dart which slots into the end of the shaft and keeps the dart stable when it's thrown?
Flight.
Yes, in July 2024, which Labour politician was appointed as the UK Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport?
Lisa Nandy.
Yes, what acid, often recommended as a dietary supplement for women planning a pregnancy, is sometimes known as vitamin B9?
Folic.
Yes, which famous Argentine revolutionary leader was captured and killed by the Bolivian army in October 1967?
Che Guevara.
Yes, which Italian city's 3 commercial airports are Malpensa, Linate and Bergamo?
Venice.
No, Milan. When expressed as a fraction, the figure 0.375 is equal to how many eighths?
1.
No, 3. What citrus fruit, a variety of mandarin, is named after a former province in southern Japan?
Tangerine.
No, Satsuma. The name of which London theatre on the Strand is derived from the Greek word for brothers?
The Harold.
No, Adelphi. What's the 2-word name for the music genre similar to Motown that emerged in the UK in the 1960s at venues such as Wigan Casino and the Twisted Wheel in Manchester and is exemplified by American singers such as Frank Wilson and Gloria Jones?
R&B.
No, Northern Soul. What name derived from a French verb meaning to squint is given to an old-fashioned type of handheld glasses mounted on a handle?
Monocle.
No, Lorgnette. What 1964 film directed... I've started, so I'll finish. What 1964 film directed by Stanley Kubrick and starring Peter Sellers in 3 different roles has the subtitle How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb?
The Shining.
No, Dr. Strangelove. Davina, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 17 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Richard again, please. Richard, you start with 11 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Paddy's 18 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. Sir Bedivere, Sir Percival and Sir Tristan were 3 of the knights at the court of which legendary British king?
King Arthur.
Yes, what name for a Jewish place of worship is derived from a Greek word for a meeting or gathering?
Synagogue.
Yes, between 2013 and 2019, Push the Sky Away, Skeleton Tree and Ghosteen were UK hit albums by which Australian singer with his backing band, the Bad Seeds?
Pass.
Which British ballerina noted for her career at the Royal Ballet and her dance partnership with Rudolf Nureyev was born Margaret Hookham in 1919?
And an eagle.
No, Margot Fontaine. Which Oscar-winning American actor gave his 2024 best-selling memoir the title Sonny Boy after his mother's childhood nickname for him?
Pass.
What salad ingredient has varieties called Sun Gold, Black Russian and Tumbling Tom?
Tomato.
Yes, the 240-foot-long Hall of Mirrors is a famous room in which 17th century French palace?
Versailles.
Yes, what was the name of the Irish-born pirate who was captured along with her shipmates Mary Read and Calico Jack aboard a stolen ship, the William, in 1720?
Pass.
When tossing a coin twice, the probability of getting two heads in a row is 1 in how many?
1 in 4.
Yes. Which football club based in southern Spain won the Europa League for a record 7th time in 2023 after beating Roma on penalties in the final?
Pass.
In January 2025, which broadcaster succeeded Zoe Ball as the new permanent presenter of Radio 2's breakfast show?
Pass.
What's the title of the Emmy Award-winning American television sitcom first shown in 2000 that stars Larry David as a fictionalized version of himself?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey, who were elected as MPs at the 2024 UK general election, became the co-leaders of which party 3 years earlier?
Green.
Yes, the English resorts of Broadstairs, Cromer and Mablethorpe are all on the coast of which sea?
North Sea.
Yes, the opera Idomeneo, first performed in 1781 and set in Crete after the Trojan War, was written by which composer?
Pass.
Which British scientist and inventor is credited with the discovery of calcium and barium, among other chemical elements?
Rutherford.
No, Davy. The Jardin Majorelle, once owned by the fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent, and a museum dedicated to his work, are among the tourist attractions in which city in Morocco?
Marrakesh.
It is Marrakesh. Richard, you had 6 passes. The opera Idomeneo was composed by Mozart. Scott Mills took over from Zoe Ball on the Radio 2 breakfast show. The football club based in southern Spain that won the Europa League for a record 7th time, Seville. Anne Bonny is the Irish-born pirate who was captured along with shipmates Mary Read and Calico Jack. The Oscar-winning American actor Al Pacino, his memoir is called Sonny Boy, and the singer of those albums Push the Sky Away, Skeleton Tree and Ghosteen, it was Nick Cave. At the end of that round, Richard, you've done it. You've got 20 points.
Thank you.
Well done.
Congratulations. Well done.
In the end, it was close, so let's have a look at the final scores. In joint third place with 17 points each, Davina and Anjanea. In second place with 18 points, it's Paddy, which means in first place with 20 points, it's Richard. So he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I'm absolutely delighted to win the episode.
At the end of that round, Richard, you've done it. You've got 20 points.
Wow. I'm amazed still at this point that I got through okay.
And your specialist subject?
The Battle of Normandy. Cheering me on at home are my wife, Katie, and my sons, Oliver and Leo. They pulled out old questions from old episodes and played the introductory music to put me in the frame, and then sort of ran me through a set of questions like that, which was a great help from them.